Good evening. I'm Spot On Weather meteorologist Matthew Euler, and welcome to the weather map discussion for 23 August 2022. Looking at tonight's picture, showing a beautiful sunset, and I took this picture on Monday evening, the 22nd of August in southeastern Virginia, and just amazing sunset. You can see the orange hue to the sky. Really reminiscent of fall-like colors or, fall pumpkins, that type of color. Really a nice sunset last night here across southeastern Virginia. Okay, so let's get right into the weather map discussion. And we're going to go ahead and kick things off. Looking at the latest satellite and radar image for this evening, the 23rd of August, 2022. Some of the main features that stick out are these yellow, green, and orange colorings. This indicates whenever you see that orange coloring, yellow coloring, green coloring, that generally indicates higher or colder cloud tops. And right now we got a lot of cloud coverage just offshore of the mid-Atlantic coast down through parts of South Carolina into Tennessee, Alabama, down to Mississippi, and down to especially parts of southern Mississippi. There's some pretty heavy showers right now around the Biloxi area. Additionally, we see some more higher clouds and colder cloud tops across parts of far southwestern Texas into parts of Mexico. And there's a little bit of monsoonal moisture flowing north there across parts of Arizona. Additionally, there's an area across North Dakota, very cold cloud tops there in parts of the North Dakota area into parts of eastern Montana. Looking at the satellite, or rather the radar image for this evening, you can see there is a cluster of showers and thunderstorms along the Gulf Coast, generally in that South Mississippi, from Biloxi along Interstate 10 to Mobile, Alabama. It's really a wet go right now this evening. Additionally, we have some scattered showers and thunderstorms across the Florida Peninsula. Working our way northward into New England, we just generally have some scattered showers overall across this portion of the country. And then working our way to the northern plains, parts of North Dakota into parts of southern Canada, south central Canada, some showers and thunderstorms. And there's that monsoonal moisture I spoke of there with the colder cloud tops on the left on the satellite image. This is your showers and thunderstorm, your monsoonal moisture into parts of Arizona. And there's a couple scattered showers there into Montana this evening. Looking at the latest surface analysis for 23 August 2022, there is an area of low pressure situated over western New York State with a cold front dropping south through the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area, extending further southwest into West Virginia, far eastern Kentucky, and far eastern Tennessee. And then that front becomes generally stationary just south of Memphis on down into parts of southern Arkansas. And there's another area of low pressure in the vicinity of Dallas-Fort Worth with that frontal boundary extending across the Lone Star State. Additionally, we have an area of low pressure located across portions of Saskatchewan there, the Saskatchewan province there in Canada. And so we have a little frontal boundary coming in, a cold front working its way into parts of Montana this evening. Additionally, we have an occluded low pressure system off the Pacific Northwest coast. There's the occluded front by that purple line, and then that turns into the cold front, and of course the extension of the warm front. Generally over the Midwestern U.S. this evening, we have a 10-20 millibar high pressure system, and generally we're looking at temperatures into the 60s and 70s for a large chunk of the Midwestern U.S. Okay, so now let's move ahead to tomorrow, Wednesday, 24 August 2022, looking at the 300 millibar wind speeds. The wind speeds are 30,000 feet above the ground. Generally looking, this is tomorrow morning on the left, and this is tomorrow evening on the right. What we're looking at is higher wind speeds, generally across parts of Texas on Wednesday morning, and then into the Carolinas. Stronger wind speeds off the New England coast as well. You can see a much stronger jet stream winds there across parts of eastern Canada as well tomorrow morning, well to the north of the U.S. border. Looking at tomorrow evening, Wednesday evening, the 24th of August, generally we have the same areas with some higher wind speeds on the order of 32 to about 48 knots. Stronger wind speeds over the North Atlantic. And additionally, we have a stronger area of winds associated with a jet across eastern Canada by tomorrow evening. Looking at the 500 millibar wind heights vorticity for Wednesday, 24 August, generally what we have is a closed upper low position over Washington State tomorrow morning. There's a ridge, an upper level ridge or shortwave ridge there extending into Montana with a downstream trough across parts of New England. The deeper troughing is much further to the north, associated with the polar front jet stream axis across eastern Canada. Looking over on the right-hand side, we do have a little bit of positive vorticity occurring across central Alabama, central Georgia, and parts of South Carolina, then offshore the mid-Atlantic coast. Generally, this is associated with that frontal boundary that's just draped across the deep south. And we do have also by tomorrow evening, on Wednesday evening, 24 August, we do see some higher levels of cyclonic relative vorticity across Washington State associated with some showers. Looking at the 700 millibar vertical velocity heights and heights for 24 August, what we're looking at is for Wednesday morning, we have some positive vertical velocities there across parts of Mississippi and Louisiana and southeast Texas. Another area of positive vertical velocities across Iowa and then up into northern Minnesota. By evening, on the right, we see positive vertical velocities generally in that same area of the deep south Mississippi into parts of Louisiana. And then there is some higher positive vertical velocities across parts of Wisconsin, southern Minnesota, into Nebraska. And additionally, there's some positive vertical velocities across the western U.S. See a little bit of troughing at the 700 millibar level from New York State, very weak troughing from New York State down into northeastern PA. Looking at the 850 millibar wind speeds for Wednesday, 24 August 2022. For Wednesday morning on the left, we do actually see some decent winds here across a couple areas of the United States. If you've got travel plans, we do see stronger winds across parts of northwestern and western Iowa and eastern Nebraska, where the winds at 850 millibars, 5,000 feet, are generally going to be in excess of 20 knots. Another area of higher wind speeds at 850 millibars, or 5,000 feet above the ground, will be occurring across Louisiana, towards Jackson, Mississippi, and then up towards Little Rock, Arkansas. Higher wind speeds are also occurring over the western Atlantic Ocean and also off the U.S. West Coast. Looking at the 850 millibar wind speed forecast on the right, this is for Wednesday evening, generally showing a little bit of stronger winds at 850 millibars over New England, and also higher wind area across parts of Arkansas, southeast Oklahoma, northeast Texas, as well as southwestern Mississippi. And another area of stronger winds at 850 millibars across Iowa and parts of Nebraska, indicated by the green coloring where wind speeds will be in excess of 20 knots. Looking at the surface wind forecast, we're going down to the surface level now for Wednesday, 24 August 2022. Here is Wednesday morning on the left, generally showing that the U.S. as a whole is fairly calm, not much in the way of wind speeds, as is typical in August when we get a much weaker pressure gradient. The differences in pressure between the highs and the low pressure not as sharply contrasted as they are in the fall and winter. Generally what we have is on Wednesday morning, a little pocket of gustier winds across parts of southern Minnesota and western Iowa, 10 to 15 knot winds in that location. But overall, if you have travel plans tomorrow, the winds look fairly benign. There are some much rougher, higher wind speeds of the surface occurring over the ocean, over the western North Atlantic, as well as, again, off that California coast. By Wednesday evening, we really don't have much in the way of winds. Very strong winds across the lower 48. There are some stronger wind speeds across the Dakotas into eastern Montana, but these winds are only 10 to 15 knots in the blue shading. Additionally, we have those very strong winds, a very tight pressure gradient across parts of the eastern Pacific Ocean there off the Pacific Northwest coast and northern California. Looking now at the precipitation forecast for 24 August. If you've got travel plans tomorrow anywhere across the United States, here's the outlook for tomorrow morning. Generally what we're looking at is some very heavy rain showers and thunderstorms for parts of Mississippi into Louisiana, down along Interstate 10, the Houston area, expanding to the southwest towards San Antonio. Could be a wet ride if you have any travel plans along Interstate 10 tomorrow morning. Additionally, Interstate 55 coming out of Biloxi, Mississippi northbound. You could definitely be running some heavier rain there around just north of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Additionally, we do see a pocket of rain across parts of northern Iowa, southeastern Minnesota, and another area of rain across parts of northern Minnesota. There will be some scattered showers, not expecting them to be very heavy across parts of Maine on Wednesday morning. Wednesday evening, you can see very repetitive pattern we're in. We have a frontal boundary just sitting down across the southern U.S., an area of upward vertical motion, and that is resulting in heavy showers and storms for Wednesday evening, across parts of Mississippi into Louisiana and southeast Texas. Here's a little bit of monsoonal moisture creeping its way northward into Arizona once more for Wednesday evening, 24th of August, and then we have some additional showers from Montana into parts of South Dakota and Minnesota. Looking at the forecast high temperatures for Wednesday, 24 August 2022, generally we see the hottest temperatures confined to the Sunshine State of Florida, where highs will be in the lower 90s. Additionally, we have some high temperatures in the 90s down in South Texas, and over the Central Plains states we do see a pocket of 90-degree plus weather across parts of Oklahoma City, to Wichita, Kansas, parts of Nebraska as well, a large portion of Nebraska. And then we have the usual very hot temperatures across the desert Southwest. Las Vegas tomorrow projected to be about 101 Fahrenheit. And you just see this lighter brown shading here, a little white brownish color. Very warm temperatures, including all the way in the Pacific Northwest again tomorrow, in parts of eastern Washington State and in parts of Oregon tomorrow. The coolest temperatures will remain north of a cool front across parts of North Dakota and in northern Minnesota, where highs will be in the 70s. Looking at the forecast low temperatures for Wednesday night into Thursday morning, 25 August, the coolest temperatures remain confined to the higher elevations of the Rocky Mountains from western Montana southeastward into Wyoming and into Colorado, where low temperatures will be in the 40s, believe it or not. Additionally, we have a cooler pocket of temperatures generally right along Interstate 70 from Ohio into Indiana, where the low temperatures will drop between 58 and 60 degrees by Thursday morning. And then the warmest temperatures generally along the I-95 corridor southward, all the way down to Florida, and then also south of Interstate 40, where the low temperatures will be in the lower 70s. Some of the hottest overnight lows will remain confined to the deserts of California and parts of the Las Vegas area. Looking at the latest Climate Prediction Center 6 to 10 day temperature and precip outlook. Now these forecast probabilities go from August 29th to September 2nd, 2022, showing above normal temperatures for a large swath of the northern U.S., including New England, and then also the highest probability of above normal temperatures will be across parts of western Montana, Idaho, eastern Oregon into eastern Washington State, and below normal temperatures across west Texas. Looking at the 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook, much below normal precip across the northern plain states, from northern Minnesota into North Dakota into parts of Montana, Idaho, and northwest Wyoming. There is hope for a little bit of precipitation across parts of northwestern Washington State, and we have a very high probability of above normal temperatures across parts of Texas. Now, taking a sneak peek at the 500 millibar upper air forecast and the extended time period, the graphic here on the left is for Friday, 26 August, and then the graphic here on the right is for Monday, 29 August. So looking at this particular graphic on the left for Friday morning, the 26th of August, there is a deep upper level low situated over the vicinity of Hudson Bay, Canada, with a trough extending southwest, more of a negative configuration to the trough, extending southeastward into parts of eastern Canada. This doesn't get very deep, though, into the eastern U.S. The troughing remains rather weak across the eastern U.S. for Friday morning. There is an upper-level ridge which extends from South Dakota on northward into parts of Canada, especially the western part of Canada. You can see the signatures of the subtropical ridges. This is your Bermuda High, generally positioned, orientated from the northeast to the southwest across the Florida Peninsula. And the eastern Pacific high-pressure system is strong, which is very typical this time of year off the coast of California. Looking at the forecast upper air chart for Monday, 29 August on the right, generally what we're expecting is this is your Bermuda Ridge. It's going to extend a little bit further back, more to a east-west orientation into parts of the Carolinas and Georgia and Alabama over time. And then there will be another upper level ridge or higher heights across parts of the Pacific Northwest by the end of August. A little bit of troughing developing over the central U.S. by this point. And the coolest temperatures are associated with these stronger troughs well to the north, associated with better dynamics with the jet stream. Now let's take a look at the Hampton Roads 7-day forecast. What we're looking for over the next 7 days for Hampton Roads, Virginia cities. Generally dry conditions between midweek and Friday, this Friday. High temperatures generally in the middle to upper 80s with overnight lows in the lower 70s. And then there's an outsized shot of isolated thunderstorms in the afternoon on Saturday with a high of 86. Becoming partly sunny again Sunday, and then next Monday, the 29th. And what we're looking at is high temperatures again in the range of the 84 to 85 degrees, overnight lows in the low 70s. And then by Tuesday, next Tuesday, the 30th of August, looking at scattered afternoon thunderstorms, the high of 86. Okay, that wraps up tonight's video for the weather map discussion and the overall outlook for tomorrow across the United States as a whole. Looking good overall. If you're driving on Interstate 90s and 94, Interstate 35 towards Minneapolis, it could be a little bit wetter in this particular area tomorrow if you got plans, and also along the Gulf Coast, Interstate 10 for sure. Interstate 95 and 75 in Florida looks wet, and so just plan accordingly. It looks like the heaviest rain is going to be over Louisiana and Mississippi for tomorrow. But the rest of the nation, in general, central part of the nation looks pretty good from Kansas into Illinois and Missouri, all the way to the East Coast, actually. All right, that wraps things up. I wish everybody a pleasant evening, and until next time, God bless everyone.